The following is a presentation of CBS Sports Colorado. From Boulder, this is Coach Prime's Playbook with Romy Bean. Now your host, Romy Bean, and the coach of the CU Buffs, Deion Sanders.
Throws it wide open over the middle. The catch is made. Touchdown. Gets a blocker. Steps inside a defender. Dives to the end zone. Touchdown. Throws a lob back left corner of the end zone. Catch, end zone, touchdown. Now the Buffaloes fall to 0-3. In Big 12 conference plays, they fall 35-21. On the road against TCU.
I'm seeing the same thing you guys are seeing, and it's getting a little frustrating to know that you have it inside the locker room, but it must execute and make those necessary changes if they want to be victorious.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Boulder, Colorado, for another edition of Coach Prime's Playbook with the one and only Coach Prime. A privilege as always, Coach. I know you hate talking about yourself, but first and foremost, how are you feeling? Can you talk to us about your health a little bit?
I don't like to. I don't want to. Can we talk about the team first?
Okay, the team first.
Then we could double back.
Let's talk about the team first. When I look at this offense, you almost get the Jekyll and Hyde. Sometimes they're moving, they're in the red zone, they're operating, and then, there's turnovers and they're stalling. How do you and Pat and Byron get more consistency?
I'm not going to say it's tough because you have some extreme highs and extreme lows because running the football, we have been very successful. Yeah. Throwing the ball in spurts at times, we've looked really, just on point. But then we have those turnovers. We have those inconsistencies that you cannot overlook, and it's hard to overcome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So what's the message then to these young men when it feels like what I liked after the game, let me say this, is Taufik Bayard was visibly frustrated when he was speaking with us. I think that frustration's a good thing.
Yes.
So how do you move forward and how do you get over the hump?
Well, you got to keep on challenging these young men to seize the moment. We always come to a few moments in the game where we could either do A or B, and we're always doing B instead of doing A. Yeah. A, which allows you to keep going and win this game and to go up by a couple touchdowns or 10 points or whatever, and we just hadn't been able to get it right. The inconsistencies are glaring, but we're trying to fix what we're identifying at practice to be the problem, and they're understanding now that it all starts at practice, not in the game. It starts at practice, because the same thing we see at practice, we see in the game.
Right. I want to talk to you about a young guy, Quentin Gibson, who's had a lot of promise. He had a couple of mistakes. What do you talk to about a young guy when he makes some mistakes like that moving forward?
You chastise him because you want him to know how severe his mistakes was, but you give him love and you pick him back up because he's young, and I'm glad it happened in his youth, so it wouldn't wait till he's a senior or whatever, right? And it happens in another situation that's not fortunate for us. It happened. We got to get over it and get by it, and he has to get through it. And the thing about him, man, he forgets quick. He forgets quick, and he's ready to go. And he's going to be a star.
Great. Dallin Hayden, we saw some good moments from him in the game. Great to see him back. How's he feeling? Are we going to see him more as we go?
Yeah, because we have a couple guys down. But we have depth. I'm thankful for the recruiting department and what we've accomplished in assuming and assembling this roster, because we have depth at that position, because, it seems like somebody's going down every week, but we have depth.
Yeah. And hopefully that depth will come into play as we take a look at the next matchup, and that is Iowa State, a home game matchup. Let's take a look at who's next. They're 5-1, coming off their first loss of the season. Coach Campbell, 3-time Big 12 Coach of the Year, and this is pretty incredible. ISU winningest Big 12 team going back to 2017. Let's hear from head coach Matt Campbell about coming off that first loss of the season.
Well, the world wants a result, and I get it. It's our sport, it's our profession. I care about attitude and effort, and I care about what kind of fight our kids have. And, man, the one thing I told them after the game, I couldn't be prouder of them. But, buddy, if you got kids that are willing to fight for it and continue to fight for it, then you got a real chance.
You know, that quote kind of resonates so much, I think, with what you preach when he's talking about, yes, you want the result, but you need that attitude and effort. He always sees that from his young men. When you put on the tape, what do you see?
I see the same thing. I see these guys not giving up, not quit. They get frustrated because you have it. You have it right in your hands, and you allow it to leave your grasp. And we're so much better than our record displaying. And that's the frustrating part from a coach, from some of the older players, and even some from the younger players that got that dog in them. Like, it's so frustrating because we're right there and we relinquish it consistently.
When you look at their quarterback, Rocco Becht, great name, by the way. It has nothing to do with anything, but I do love it. Third-year starter. You know, he's not necessarily like a 6'5", laser rocket arm type of guy.
But the guy's consistent. We had played against those type of guys that are 6'5", that, you know, look like that glaring quarterback that the NBA and the NFL is going to consume. But this guy gets the job done. And I like his poise. I like his mental and physical toughness, and he places the ball where it needs to be.
They kind of, you know, they say he's a gamer. What does it take to be a gamer?
That's intriguing, because I'm not gonna say I like that.
Yeah.
Because I would rather a guy as a practice guy.
Okay.
Because if I see it in practice, I know I'm gonna see it in the game.
Right.
It's hard for me to just wait, and I ain't seen it in the practice all week. Then I see it in the game, then I'm not gonna trust it too much. I don't know how many times you can pull a rabbit out that hat, but that kid can flat out play.
Yeah. Oh, I absolutely love it. All right, we're going to take a break here on Coach Prime's Playbook. We're going to talk to Omarion Miller on the other side, coming off his best game of the season. We will be right back after this.
This is Coach Prime's Playbook.
Salter, all kinds of time, throws it to the end zone. Miller's out there. He makes the grab. Touchdown! Touchdown, Colorado! Omarion Miller. He made the adjustment as he turned and spun around Jalen Johnson.
Welcome back into Coach Prime's Playbook. And, man, you know what was really fun? I know they didn't get the win, but it was a blast watching Omarion Miller just ball out there down at TCU. Omarion, you're now, 6 games into the season. How would you evaluate your season so far?
I definitely say it's been going good. It didn't definitely start off how I wanted to, but kind of started off a little roughy, but we're coming along.
When it's not going how you want it to, how do you kind of stay patient, stay focused to get where you want to be?
All my life, I always had some bumps on my road. So, you know, I've been, practicing just keeping focused, staying focused, playing the next day.
You mean you've had some bumps since you've been here? We go back to your game your freshman year of USC. I think we all remember that. Just sensational, over 200 yards receiving. You come into your sophomore year, and then you have an injury and you miss the last 7 games. So what was the mentality to get back to where you are now?
I'll just say stay focused. After my injury, I had my mental, it wasn't right, but I had the right people around me, got me in the right mental space. I just kept pushing, finally I got healthy, I'm here now.
Yeah, we love having you here. What do you like about playing for Coach Prime?
I definitely have to say the lights. I like the attention, I love the attention, showing out in front of the attention, it just feels good.
It's funny because Coach talks about a lot how, you either have that or you don't. But how important is that for you and big goals and NFL goals to be really comfortable under the lights?
I definitely say it's very important. I'm a really confident guy. I believe very strong in my play, and I feel like I'm prepared for the biggest stage I can get on.
Which NFL players did you growing up kind of look at and maybe mold your game after?
I'm from Louisiana, so I definitely watch all the LSU guys, Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, Terrence Marshall, Odell Beckham, guys like that.
That's a good slate to pick from. You were a hooper in high school too, yeah?
Correct, yeah.
We found this video of you just dunking.
Yeah.
How good at basketball were you? Did you get any offers? Did you ever think about playing hoops?
Unfortunately, I was really good at basketball. It was crazy. I wasn't really gonna play football. I was a basketball guy. I used to play a lot of AAU basketball. Travel. Was on the top team, top AAU team. I got one offer from Arizona. And luckily, my freshman year, I tried football a lot, and I just ended up sticking with it.
Wow. So you could have done either.
Yeah,
That's pretty amazing. Obviously, it's different without Shedeur. How much of a kind of adjustment has that been? Has it been different than you expected?
It's definitely been different. Playing with 2 different style of QBs. Shedeur's more of a pure passer, and like Caden, he's a guy that can use his legs and pass. So it's definitely been different adjusting to the type of balls and things like that.
What's it like seeing some of your teammates now, like Travis balling out Monday Night Football, seeing them succeed at the next level?
Man, it puts a smile on my face, just knowing I was in the room with those guys last year, just cut on my TV and to see those guys ball out on the biggest stage ever. Makes me hungry.
It's awesome. Well, we're excited because one day we know we're going to see you balling out on that big stage as well. Omarion, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate you so much.
Yes, man. Let's go Buffs.
We got to take a break. We got more Coach Prime's Playbook coming up. On the other side, we'll be right back.
This is Coach Prime's Playbook.
Welcome back into Coach Prime's Playbook, and what a thrill. Part of the greatest show on turf. I wish we were on the field so I could say I'm on the turf with the greatest show on turf.
Nice.
Hall of Famer Marshall Faulk, kind enough to sit down with us. This is awesome, Coach. Thank you for sitting down with us.
Well, thanks for having me.
You're 6 games into your college coaching career. What's been the most rewarding and what's been the most challenging part so far?
I think the rewarding aspect of it is to kids, coaching them, gaining their confidence and them then believing in me, understanding that I'm here to help them, because I remember being that kid, walking into a locker room 18, some strange man is giving me advice, saying he's going to change my life, and those relationships that I made, they still exist, and it's funny that we're here, we're in Colorado, and the guy who helped me, Sean Payton, that was my coach when I was in college, is now the coach in Denver, and we're here at the same time, so. It's just that's a part, and then the other aspect of it is learning to deal with losing. Like
Yeah.
I forgot about losing.
Yeah.
I only remember how fun the game was when you won, and now you get back into it. It sucks.
Yeah. What's your message to kids? It's funny, we've had, Dallin Hayden and Simeon Price on the show, and when I ask them about you, their eyes just light up, and I'm just trying to soak everything in and talking about, they could just talk for days about how much you've taught them. But what is, the biggest message you want to impart on these young men?
Well, just making sure that they understand that there's so many different ways how to play the position, and that there's a standard to how I want the position to be played within the room, but then I coach them all differently to what their talents and capabilities are. And I give them so much room to kind of go out and paint their own picture, but they got to draw within the lines. and that's what I ask. And I believe when you play the position that way, you get the most out of the athlete.
How did Coach Prime convince you to come coach for him?
Just asked me. That's
okay.
it. Pretty basic.
Did you always want to coach?
No, never.
Okay.
Never wanted to coach. But it was a grooming process over, I'm gonna say, the past maybe 4 or 5 years that he's been into it. And he and we always talk, and I'm always concerned about what's going on. And so he had me come up a couple of times, and then he was like, "Hey, what do you think of this?" And I gave it some thought. It's funny that the deciding factor was the fact that I played football and I wasn't around my kids growing up young. And as they were getting older, I was like, I want to be there for this. So I'm not going to do anything that takes me away from them. And I have my youngest, she's a senior in high school. She's turning 18 today.
Wow. Happy birthday.
Right. And so I asked her, I was like, hey, I have this opportunity. What do you think? And she was like, Dad, Colorado's one of the schools on my list. I'm like, wow, this is just crazy. So it all worked out.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
There's that old phrase, those who can't do, teach, those who can't do, coach. You obviously could do in incredible ways. You got the gold jacket, Hall of Fame career. Do you ever struggle with coaching these kids on their abilities, not on what your abilities were?
I don't, because I asked a lot of good friends of mine who coached and played. And the struggle is making sure that you see the game through their eyes and not expecting them to see the game through your eyes, and coaching them to their ability, not to your abilities. And I catch myself sometime. I watch him, I'm like, how did he not see that? And I'm like, it's not me. He's not me. So then I try to figure out, how do I teach what I know? How do I teach what I saw? And so it gets me into the mindset of being more of an educator instead of an evaluator or spectator.
That's so fascinating. Thank you for sharing this with us. Coach, this has been such a treat. Thank you for sitting down. What an honor. We appreciate you.
Thanks for having me.
We got to take a break. We got more with Coach Prime coming up. On the other side, we will be right back.
This is Coach Prime's Playbook.
Young. Caught. It's Horn. Who knew? Jimmy Horn getting it done.
Welcome back into Coach Prime's Playbook. And, you know, I think if there's one person that Buffs and just everybody universally loves, that's Jimmy Horn Jr.
Yeah.
In his NFL debut, he makes a huge play on 4th down. Of course, he gave you a shout-out afterwards. What is it like for you when you see a guy like that who you have such a
like
relationship
a son
with?
to me. I love him to life. I mean, he is so, I've never seen him have a bad day.
Yeah.
He's always smiling. He's always hustling. He wants to be the best. He's a great son to you know, his father, to his mother. He's just a good kid. He's the kid you want to build your program around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does it make you feel special when you see him succeeding at the next level?
Yeah, definitely. And he's getting so much more poised in his interviews.
Yeah.
I like that as well because, you know, he's a straight Florida boy. And he talked with that Florida swag and that swang, you know, that, and you can hear it comes out. But now he's really polishing himself.
Yeah.
And I'm proud of that.
We love it. I mean, all your guys are doing things. Travis, of course, had a big game on Monday night. Do you like how they're utilizing him now?
It could be better.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It could be better. It could be better.
Well, you know what? Hopefully it'll keep coming along. Let's do a Cleveland check. And how's Shedeur doing?
Shedeur's doing good. Mentally, emotionally, psychologically, he's doing good.
Yeah.
He's smiling. You know, they can't knock the smile off his face. He keep on smiling. Not that they're trying to, but a lot of media personalities are. I can't wait till he get his opportunity and he do his thing.
Yeah.
Then I tell you, he just need to don't say that. Like, when you do your thing, don't even give out interviews. Just do your thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we're hoping that opportunity comes.
It will.
Sooner than later.
Yeah, it will.
I know this is going to be delayed, but you're going to be okay health-wise.
I'm
You're gonna
having
get
a
procedure.
surgery. By the time this airs, I've had the surgery already a day, and I should be up and back at practice by the time this airs, and I had a great day. But I'm going to be okay.
Okay.
I'm worried more concerned. I'm not worried. More concerned about making sure we get the W for these wonderful hometown fans.
Well, it's just incredible, all the adversity that you're going through personally to still come out and give it all. So thank you for that, and thank you for all that you do. Coach, it's pretty incredible.
Amen.
So,
well, we appreciate you.
I know you don't like to talk about yourself, but we got to give you a minute
thank you
to
for
tell
not badgering me today. I appreciate it.
You know what? I thought that's the least I could. You got to go get surgery. That's the least I could do.
Badgering the witness.
You know, I know. Well, I wanted you to come back.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
All right, Coach, we appreciate you so much. We'll see what happens next week.
Amen.
No, I'm just kidding. It'll be great. Thank you. Everybody, make sure you fill the house on Saturday. Coach,
Please.
You're the best. It's always a privilege.
Thank
It's an
you.
honor. Guys, we will see you guys next time, and hopefully you're coming to Boulder. Enjoy Colorado versus Iowa State. See you then.
This has been Coach Prime's Playbook with Romy Bean.